So I am in the hospital. I am here on my third day. I came on Monday morning at 3:30 with severe abdominal pain that I had experienced on and off for about a week. On Sunday it became unbearable, and nothing I did gave me any relief. It was a 10. And came to the ER, and long story short, found out that my gallbladder's fine, stomach's fine, large intestine's fine, but I have a large mass growing. And they suspected cancer and said, just the way it looks, it's suspicious, but we'll do a biopsy. And so that day, they moved me from the ER up to a room, did a biopsy. I had already had 2 CAT scans by the time I got up here and a sonogram. Let's see, was it the same day? Biopsy, 2 CT scans. Oh, and that night they took me for an MRI at 10 p.m. Next day was really just waiting for results, trying to figure out a plan, have an oncologist, have the regular doctors here. Everybody's communicating. That part's amazing. And today they took me for a port because they're sure that it's a lymphoma or a cancer at least, and they want to do chemo, and what they're suspecting is lymphoma. And got the results back. It is lymphoma. It's a very treatable kind. So there's good news and the bad news. And took me for a bone marrow biopsy as well. We don't have the results for that. I just did that today. So it's Wednesday, and I just wanted to make a video record of that part of my journey. The plan is chemo every 3 weeks for 6 cycles. I'm not 100% sure if that means chemo one day, chemo, and then in 3 weeks chemo again, or is it chemo for a few days and then 3 weeks off, and then chemo for a few days, or something like that. I don't really know. The doctor did tell me verbally the chemos that it would be, but my brain doesn't know any of that. But I'm getting 3 chemo drugs, 1 bone marrow producer or supporter, makes you produce bone marrow, and 3 steroids all at the same time. So that made me think, I come in, I do all of that, and then I can go home and then come back in 3 weeks and do it again for 6 cycles. So it's August 2021. It's August 11th today. And that would mean that if the cycles are like that, then my last dose would be Thanksgiving or the day after Thanksgiving, and we will complete that before Christmas, and that would be nice. It has already been very emotional. There's a lot of good things coming out of this, and I'm very appreciative to the hospital. I am at Advent Health in Apopka. I have had nothing but excellent staff and medical teams and transporters and doctor. I've only had like 1 doctor that's done anything on me, but the doctors who are communicating with me have been very impressive, very communicative, very kind, very compassionate. And I did pray to have an amazing medical team, and every day I pray for that. Anybody that comes in is amazing, and that God blesses their lives, and that they're able to bless other patients through their work, and not just me. And so that's been a very good experience. I have stuff hooked up to me like all over the place, and other people have so much more, but this just feels like a lot. Got this port right here. It's all bandaged up. This stays on for like 48 hours, no showering, and then takes like a week to heal. IV, of course, who doesn't have an IV when they're in the hospital? And I have, I just have things stuck to me, but I have the spot on my back where they did the bone marrow. I'll have to take a picture of that or have somebody take a picture. Yeah, that's it for now. Oh, it's day 4 in the hospital. Things are moving along. I was supposed to get transferred. Well, I got the PET scan today, and that's to check all the lymph nodes. My hair. What you gonna do? They say don't shower for 48 hours. Okay. PET scan today. Had to take some medication for pain so I can lay flat on my back. When I lay flat on my back, I have abdominal pain that refers to my back. And even if the pain I could consider mild, it's like an intolerable kind of pain. And it's similar to the pain I had coming in, but the pain I had coming in was definitively a 10. If I could go higher than a 10, I would. And when I try to compare any other pain to that 10, I guess I never understood what a 10 was before. Even my back pain when it was a 10 wasn't like this. Luckily, I haven't really had that pain since I've been here. Not a 10 anyway. Just a little bit when I lay in certain positions because the lymphoma is in my upper abdomen. But it's my third day, PET scan done. They've told me I'm going to transfer to the Altamont Advent Hospital. That is where they do chemo. Everything is done for that. They've done all the checks and everything. The chemo is already set. They know what they're going to do and when they're going to do it. And the PET scan and the bone marrow are for staging to see what cancer stage I'm in. And that gives us a starting point. And then we can measure later and see if there's an improvement after doing the chemo. Chemo is supposed to be, well, I already said that in the last video. There's not much else to share. I'm tired. I didn't sleep well last night. Just uncomfortable in general and uncomfortable in my abdomen. And yeah, I just woke up at like 4 or something and tried to sleep a couple more times and then I just stayed up. Anyway, I shall keep you updated. I just want to add a little something about this year. It has been a crazy year for my family. Right now, today, my mom is in the hospital. 2 days ago, she went into the ER because she didn't feel well. They knew her platelets were high, and she needed to come in to have them take care of that. She waited she's not in an Advent hospital. First, I think that might be a factor here. She was in the waiting area in the emergency room for 17 hours. Then they got her back into the ER, and she had got a recliner. And then my dad brought her food, and they took forever to get food to her. All they had to do was really take it to her. And then she got admitted, which we weren't expecting, and she's still there now. And today, my dad's heart rate went all crazy, so he went to the ER where my mom is, and it looks like they're going to keep him too. 2021, you're looking a whole lot like 2020. Thank goodness my brother and my sister and their spouses and families are all okay. And mine too. So glad for that. So grateful. Okay. So it's still day 4. It's close to midnight. I'm in the new hospital where the chemo is done. I'm in Advent Health Altamont. Today I came over on this side of town for an inpatient PET scan. Don't have the results yet. Don't have the bone marrow results yet. But I do have news about what's going on tomorrow. So sometime early in the morning, I'm going to have a tube connected to the port. And then sometime daytime, could be morning, could be afternoon, I'll get the first chemo medication. I don't know if I get all the chemo medication at one time or on one day, or if they spread it out over a couple days. But I do know that they pre-medicate. They already gave me something to rid uric acid from the body and take that with chemo so they don't get buildup of that to get kidney stones and gout and things like that. And I get nervous when I get up to the treatments and the tests and things. So right now I feel fine, but I'm sure I'll be nervous tomorrow putting the port thing in and also doing the chemo for sure. So I'll update you tomorrow. So we are waiting on the bone biopsy to come back, but without that, I am considered B-cell lymphoma, stage 2E bulky. So the B-cell is a type of white blood cell, and the stage 2 is like how much there is in its one side of the diaphragm. And the E is that there's at least one growth near vessels, and the bulky is there's one large growth, and it is a big one. So that's how they name it specifically. And the bone marrow biopsy could come back and say that I'm stage 4. And either way, the treatment is the same. And so we are starting treatment today. 3 types of chemo, a bone marrow booster, 3 steroids, which I think some of those are oral. Pre-meds, the pre-meds are the things that, pre-medications are things that help you cope with the chemo, like anti-emetic medicine. And then there's like follow-up where I get growth hormone injections, maybe. I think that depends on my insurance. I got a call today to work out disability and insurance, and the hospital is helping me through all of that, and I'm so grateful for that. That's not something you get with every illness, but in cancer you do. So, cancer perks. I'm in good spirits. I'm accepting the emotions as they come along, and I am embracing the reality of this. I'm not in shock anymore. I think I'm not in shock anymore. I should say that because I don't know for sure. But there is something about being excerpted from my life and being in a hospital and not being in my actual life that has some kind of cushion. I miss my kids. I miss my wife. I want to go home. And there is some benefit to being here. And that is that I get to be here and focus on me and allow myself to just get treatment. And I think there's a beautiful benefit to that. And it gives me space to think. It gives me space to just kind of be with how I feel, and like that I'm aware that there is a growth in my abdomen. I can feel it without touching my abdomen. I know it's there. I'm uncomfortable sometimes. Sometimes there's pain. I am in great appreciation of pain medications in a way that I've never been. I've never had this kind of pain. The daily pain is not bad. What got me in the hospital was a 10. And I'm so grateful for pain medications for that. I am grateful that medicine knows how to handle this. They know what to look for. They've got their markers for what should be and what should not be. They've got so many ways to figure out where you are. And of course, no person with cancer is the same as another person. Of course, there are cancers that are the same, but a person experiencing cancer is unique. And I think they know that. And at this hospital, I think that they have like asked the question, like, what's wrong with hospitals? And they said, let's not be that, because this place, I feel cared for. And I think people who are dealing with something like this, anything close to it, really need that. And if you've ever not gotten that, I hope that you do, if you're still dealing with illness. Signing off for now. Chemo should be coming soon.